Ever seen a real-life fairy tale castle? One that seems to rise straight out of the sea, crowned with a spire that pierces the sky. That's Mont St. Michel for you. Perched on a rocky tidal island off the coast of Normandy, France, this place is more than just a pretty picture. It's a fortress, a monastery, and a village, all wrapped in one, with over 1,000 years of history and legends echoing through its stone corridors. But how did this breathtaking wonder come to be? Well, its story is as dramatic and magical as its appearance. Let's travel back in time and uncover the secrets of Mont St. Michel. Our journey begins in the early 8th century. Back then, the island was known as Mont St. It was a rugged, isolated piece of rock, home to a few hermits seeking solitude. The local bishop, a man named Aubert of Avranches, was about to have a life-changing experience. One night in the year 708, the Archangel Michael, the leader of God's armies, appeared to Aubert in a dream. The angel had a simple yet monumental request: build a church in his honor on top of the barren rock. Was this truly a divine vision, or just a strange dream? He decided to ignore it. But the Archangel Michael is not one to be ignored. He appeared a second time, repeating his command. Aubert, still unconvinced, brushed it off again. This is where the legend takes a dramatic turn. The Archangel appeared for a third and final time. This time, he was not just asking. Frustrated by Aubert's disbelief, the angel reportedly poked the bishop's head with his finger, burning a hole straight through his skull to prove his point. Now, whether that's literally true or not is up for debate, but a skull believed to be Aubert's, complete with a mysterious hole, is still preserved in a nearby church in Avranches. You can imagine that after an experience like that, Aubert didn't need any more convincing. He immediately set to work, and a small chapel was built on Mont St., which was then renamed Mont St. Michel in honor of its powerful celestial patron. This small oratory marked the very beginning of the incredible abbey we see today. Word of the miraculous founding spread like wildfire. Soon, pilgrims from all over Europe began making the treacherous journey to the island. And treacherous it was. The bay around Mont St. Michel is famous for having some of the highest and fastest tides in Europe. The sea can recede for miles, revealing a vast expanse of sand, only to rush back in at the speed of a galloping horse. Reaching the abbey was seen as a true test of faith, a penance, and a powerful spiritual experience. The monks who lived on the island even had a special duty to rescue stranded travelers, reinforcing the abbey's role as a beacon of hope and sanctuary. As the number of pilgrims grew, so did the abbey itself. In 966, a community of Benedictine monks was established on the island by the Duke of Normandy. These monks were master builders and scholars. They embarked on an ambitious construction project that would span centuries. Building on top of a conical rock was an incredible feat of engineering. They had to construct a massive platform to support the weight of a grand Romanesque abbey church. This church, which sits at the very peak of the island, is known as La Merveille, or the Marvel, and it's easy to see why. The monks ingeniously built crypts and chapels into the rock itself to create a level base for the main church above. It was a multi-layered masterpiece, growing organically from the very stone it was built upon. The abbey became not just a religious center, but also a major center of learning during the Middle Ages. Its scriptorium was one of the most important in Europe. Monks painstakingly copied and illuminated manuscripts, preserving classical knowledge and creating new works of theology, science, and literature. They produced hundreds of beautifully decorated books, turning Mont St. Michel into a city of books and a vital hub of medieval intellectual life. Scholars from across the continent flocked here, drawn by its extensive library and the reputation of its learned monks. But the story of Mont St. Michel isn't just about monks and pilgrims. Its strategic location made it a natural fortress. During the Hundred Years' War between England and France, the abbey was transformed into a formidable military stronghold. The English tried to capture it many times, even laying siege to the island for over 30 years, but they never succeeded. The abbey's high walls, the treacherous tides, and the fierce defense by a small garrison of French knights made it impregnable. A legend from this time tells of how two massive English cannons, which were used to bombard the walls, were abandoned in the sand and are still displayed at the entrance to this day. Mont St. Michel became a powerful symbol of French national resistance and identity. After the glory of the Middle Ages, the abbey's fortunes began to wane. The Protestant Reformation reduced the flow of pilgrims, and the abbey's wealth and influence declined. During the French Revolution, the monks were expelled, and the abbey was turned into something horrifying, a state prison. Its isolation and thick walls, which had once protected it, now made it the perfect place to lock away political prisoners. It was nicknamed the Bastille of the Seas. The glorious abbey, once a beacon of faith and learning, became a place of despair. For nearly a century, the echoing chants of monks were replaced by the clanking of chains. Thankfully, this dark chapter came to an end in the 19th century. A campaign led by prominent figures like the writer Victor Hugo, who called the prison a cage for a monster, led to its closure in 1863. The French state declared it a historic monument in 1874, and a massive restoration project began. The goal was to return the abbey to its former glory. The iconic, elegant spire that we see today, crowned with a golden statue of St. Michael slaying a dragon, it's a place where you can literally walk through time. As you climb the winding main street, the Grande Rue, past the centuries-old houses, shops, and restaurants, you follow in the footsteps of countless pilgrims, knights, and kings. When you finally reach the abbey at the top, the panoramic views of the bay are simply breathtaking. You can see the patterns of the tides and the vast, shimmering sands stretching to the horizon. Inside the abbey, you can explore the magnificent church, the serene cloisters with their delicate columns, and the great halls where monks once worked and prayed. It's a living monument to a center of learning, an impregnable fortress, a dark prison. It's a place where history, legend, and natural beauty intertwine to create something truly magical. So if you ever get the chance, go and see it for yourself. Walk the sands at low tide, climb the ancient steps, and feel the weight of 1,000 years of stories. See you next time.